Imagine living in a country where the president has been in power for so long that entire generations have never known another leader. This is the extraordinary reality in Cameroon, where Paul Biya, at 92 years old, has just announced his candidacy for an 8th presidential term, as confirmed by Reuters and BBC News. In a world where political winds often change direction quickly, Biya's 43-year grip on power stands as both a symbol of continuity and a source of deep national debate. His declaration, "Rest assured that my determination to serve you matches the urgency of the challenges we face," was intended to reassure Cameroonians of his unwavering commitment, yet it has only intensified the discussion about the country's future and the true cost of such long-term rule. Biya's presidency has been defined by resilience in the face of immense challenges, but also by controversy and mounting criticism. Over the years, his administration has become associated with corruption, embezzlement, and poor governance, as documented by Al Jazeera and The Guardian. Security threats, especially in the country's Anglophone regions, have made stability a distant dream for many. Meanwhile, doubts about Biya's health and capacity have grown, especially after his mysterious 6-week absence from public life last year, an incident widely reported by France 24 and international observers. Such absences only fuel concerns about the transparency of government and whether leadership is truly being exercised in the public interest. To give you an accurate snapshot of President Biya's re-election bid as reported internationally, let's watch a short segment under 30 seconds from Reuters. This clip is used here for educational purposes under fair use and highlights both the official announcement and reactions from supporters and critics.
Cameroon's President Paul Biya has announced he will run for re-election. 92-year-old Biya first came to power in 1982 and, if re-elected in October, could remain so until he is nearly 100. Members of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement and other supporters have been publicly calling since last year for Biya to seek another term. But opposition parties and some civil society groups argue his long rule has stifled economic and democratic development.
Many thanks to Reuters for that coverage. As you've just seen, the situation is complex. Some Cameroonians and party loyalists continue to back Biya's leadership, while opposition parties and civil society groups remain deeply concerned about the effects of his extended rule. This clear division sets the stage for what may become one of Cameroon's most consequential elections, with wide implications for the country and those invested in its future. The anticipation of Biya's candidacy was palpable, but the official confirmation came through a carefully crafted social media post. Since seizing power in 1982, Biya has never lost an election, a testament to his political survival skills, but also to a system where, in 2008, term limits were abolished to allow indefinite presidential runs. The 2018 election, which he won with more than 71% of the vote, was marred by serious allegations of electoral fraud and irregularities, with opposition voices and reports from Human Rights Watch highlighting deep flaws in the process. Such events have cast a long shadow over the credibility of Cameroon's democracy. But even within Biya's own camp, the political ground is shifting. In recent months, two of his most influential northern allies, former Minister Issa Chiroma Bakari and ex-Prime Minister Bello Buba Maigari, have broken ranks, announcing their own candidacies and publicly criticizing the government's record. Chiroma's statement that the administration has broken public trust, as covered by Reuters, speaks volumes about the growing impatience for change. Meanwhile, prominent opposition leaders such as Maurice Kamto, Joshua Ossi, Akre Muna, and Cabral Libi are preparing to challenge Biya's rule, making this one of the most anticipated and potentially competitive elections in the country's history. Despite this growing call for renewal, many within the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement continue to rally behind Biya, hailing him as the de facto leader capable of holding the nation together. Yet, the reality on the ground tells a story of deepening divisions and an electorate increasingly hungry for genuine democratic participation and accountability. The atmosphere in Cameroon is tense, filled with uncertainty and hope in equal measure as the October election approaches. Cameroon's prolonged political uncertainty and Biya's unbroken rule have far-reaching implications not just for Cameroonians, but for the wider world, and especially for both foreign and local investors. A nation's leadership stability can be attractive to investors seeking predictability. However, the persistent issues of corruption, lack of transparency, and threats to the rule of law regularly reported by BBC News and The Guardian create significant risks. For local entrepreneurs, the concentration of power often limits competition and innovation, making it difficult to thrive unless aligned with those in power. For foreign investors, doubts about electoral integrity, ongoing unrest in the Anglophone regions, and potential policy shifts after decades of single-party dominance all add layers of uncertainty. Ultimately, as Cameroon faces pressure for renewal, both local and international investors are likely to watch closely, hoping for reforms that promote a stable business environment, uphold property rights, and foster sustainable economic growth. The unfolding story of Paul Biya's unbroken rule in Cameroon is a reminder to all Africans and indeed the wider world about a delicate balance between continuity and change in leadership. When a single leader holds onto power for decades, it can provide stability, but it often comes at the cost of limiting fresh ideas, innovation, and broader political participation. As cited in BBC News and The Guardian, Cameroon's experience shows the importance of strong democratic institutions, transparent electoral processes, and an engaged civil society. This moment also teaches us that generational renewal in leadership is essential for any country to adapt to new challenges, especially in a fast-changing continent like Africa. Ultimately, Cameroon's upcoming election is more than just a test for one man. It is a lesson in how nations must continuously strive to balance respect for experience with the urgent need for new voices and new solutions. Thank you for joining us on this journey into Cameroon's political crossroads. For more in-depth analysis, don't forget to subscribe to the African Reset. Now I'd like to hear your perspective. Do you think Paul Biya's long rule is a source of strength or an obstacle to progress in Cameroon? What lessons do you believe African nations and the world can draw from his story? And as an investor, would you feel confident putting your money in a country with such political continuity? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know which leader or issue we should explore next. Stay tuned for more as we continue to track Africa's evolving story. All analysis referenced in this video is supported by reputable sources including Reuters, BBC News, The Guardian, Al Jazeera, France 24, and Human Rights Watch. For further reading, visit theafricanreset.blogspot.com.